If I yell these things, they'll be true. It's time for Danny Bonaducci, Life Coach. Danny Bonaducci, Life Coach, brought to you each and every day by my friends at Goldberg Jones Divorce for Men. Call 1-800-DIVORCE. And the guy I've had the pleasure of becoming really actually good friends with, not just a sponsor, but a really, really nice guy, Rick Jones of Goldberg Jones is here with us because, and I said this from the very first day I got here, because we've been doing Life Coach for a while really successfully. I said, get me a family attorney, man. I'm going to go with at least a third of my calls, if not more, or I can't get my child support. My wife or husband left the state. I can't get my custody back. And I said, I can tell people basically what to do, but basically what to do and where to go and how to do it are two different things. So, ladies and gentlemen, my friend from Goldberg Jones, 1-800-DIVORCE, Rick Jones. Yay!
What's up, Danny?
Also a handsome-looking fella. How much weight you drop now?
Oh, we're about 65, I think.
God bless
Good for you, man.
The man, like, if he puts his mind to it, he gets it done. All right, let us go right to the phones right now. Let's start with line 3 and talk to Brock. Hiya, Brock.
How's it going?
Very well, sir. How are you?
Pretty good. I called yesterday. You told me to call back today when he came in, so.
Because Rick Jones was here, what was your question?
Well, I'm in the middle of a custody battle with my son's mom, and right now things aren't going so well with it. She was all strung out on drugs, shooting up Percocets and stuff like that, and now she went to rehab, and she's attorneyed up, and her family has a lot of money. I don't have much.
Okay, I will tell you this, and I'll turn the floor over to Rick Jones, who may have some real expertise in this area. But God, do judges love rehab, man? You're going to get busted for something. Your lawyer's going to appear alone in court and say, "I'm sorry, my client couldn't be here today. He's in rehab." Judges really do smile upon that, although you think they get smarter. Rick Jones, do you have any advice for this young man?
Well, I have one question first. Where in the process are you? Do you have a parenting evaluator involved yet?
No.
Okay. What I would tell you, the quick advice is this, is to get to the point where you've got a parenting evaluator on board. They might as well be the judge in the case. Even though they're not wearing the black robe, they're the person that gets to walk around, if you will. They get to meet you, talk to you, meet her, the mother talk to her. They're going to get more of a feel for it, and that's really the person that you're pitching your case to.
And how do you get that?
Well, as part of the court process, you can get appointed what they call a guardian ad litem, or sometimes they'll just call him a parenting evaluator.
You're writing this down, man. This is really good advice. This is a person who gets to meet and mingle with your family and see that if your wife is sketching out, she should not have custody of your child. Did you write that down?
I didn't write it down. But
Well, write it down right now. One more time. What should he get?
A parenting evaluator.
Nice job.
Nice job, man.
Bro.
Good job, because you should. That's a person who's going to kind of get involved with your family. And if your wife is as sketched out as you say she is, she's going to go to the judge and go, dude, that woman cannot handle the responsibilities of raising a child. I'm glad you called back. I appreciate that you call it all. I ask you to call, and you do. So I appreciate that. But I really am very happy that we could be of some service with my friend from Rick Jones from Goldberg Jones. Who would you like to talk to now?
Let's put you on with Dina in Everett.
Dina in Everett. By the way, it doesn't always have to be Divorce and Family Matters. Life Coach is open as it is always day at 1-800-252-1025. What can we do for you, Dina?
Good morning.
Morning.
I want to take my 2 granddaughters down to Florida to visit my mother. And my daughter and I have been estranged for 3 years because of drugs. I get to see the kids who are 13 and 15, by the way, through their father. And he's given his permission. So I have to get my daughter's permission to take them to Florida.
Well, you have to get your daughter's permission to take them anywhere. They're teenagers. You can't just come around. It's called kidnapping if you don't get their permission. But I will tell you this, and I will let Rick Jones tell me if I'm right or wrong. About a decade ago, I started reading about grandparents' rights, and they do, in fact, have a right to have visitations with their grandchildren. I do not know that I'm right, and I never say that when Rick Jones is in here, but I got Rick Jones sitting right here. It is my belief that grandparents do have visitation rights if they go to court and get them. There are grandparents' rights for visitation, Rick?
Well, you're right in most states. You're not right in Washington.
I was wrong in Washington before. I'm right in, 48 states, and they picked 2. I'm not right. So what should she do?
Unfortunately, the state of the law when it comes to grandparents' rights in Washington is fairly tough. It's nearly non-existent. I mean, it really needs to be to the point where you rise to the level of a third party for a parent that's incapable of stepping in in their own role. So unfortunately, Dina, what you really have to rely on is what you've already been relying on, which is the kindness of either your daughter, which isn't happening, or your prior son-in-law, to be able to allocate some of their time that they rightfully have to you. It's really not going to be considered kidnapping either, because you're there under your son's or son-in-law's custodial time by his permission.
But if the 15-year-old protests and says, I don't want to go, and you grab them on their way home from school, that's considered kidnapping.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, good. I didn't want to be completely 100% wrong on that. So the best thing for her to do is continue to get the permission of the parent that is saying, yeah, this is the best for the kids. And kids, and try and be reasonable, man, because it's so easy to get into family wars. Try and be reasonable and talk about how good it is to have, a whole semblance of a family, even if the family has fallen asunder, if you will, that you get grandparents, parents, cousins, things like that. And if they start falling apart, man, you end up almost an orphan. Explain that to the wife and see if she doesn't acquiesce and say, yeah, why don't you go ahead and take them on what could be the world's most wholesome pastime, a road trip with their grandparents. It sounds beautiful. So as Rick Jones of Goldberg Jones has said, I am right in, maybe say 40 states, because I watched it on 60 Minutes, that grandparents can sue for visitation rights, but Washington State, hardcore on that. So you're going to have to get the permission of one or both of your children or son-in-law and daughter. Good luck to you.
This is Danny Bonaducci, life coach, 1-800-252-1025. We have special guest Rick Jones in studio from 1-800-DIVORCE, Divorce for Men. Up next on Life Coach is Dave in Port Orchard.
Dave in Port Orchard, what can I do for you?
Hey, I've got a friend of mine that got a girl pregnant, and he seems to think that he doesn't have to pay child support. And I asked him why, and he said, well, she took my name off the birth certificate. And I told him, I said, you're going to have to pay, and it's just a matter of time. I said, sooner or later, you're going to get hammered, and you're going to get a kid knocking on the door 15 years from now, want to know why you didn't have anything to do with him.
Boy, could you not be more correct. Here's what's going to happen. People are going to start whispering in that girl's ear. She could mean it from the bottom of her heart right now. You know what? I should have taken protection. I should have taken my own responsibility, but I didn't. And I'm not going to make Steve pay child support at this young age. And then people are going to go, blah, 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 and your life is ruined, and you never got to go to the prom, and now you're never getting a good job, and you won't get to graduate college. And the next thing you know, she's going to be hammering this guy. But that is pure speculation on the Bonaducci part. Let us turn over to Goldberg Jones, the expert, Rick Jones. What's going to happen here?
You nailed it.
Yeah.
Absolutely nailed it. And to top it off, 3, 4, 5 years from now, when and if she does decide to go after child support, she's actually going to be able to have a free attorney. The state's going to be involved in setting up a paternity test and enforcing the collection and the enforcement of that judgment.
Ooh, let me throw a little monkey wrench in, because I got Rick Jones right here and he knows stuff. If it's saying, let's say, and I don't think it will, because I watched this happen in my own divorce, but let's say it takes 3 or 4 years for what I like to call the bitches whispering in her ear about her life has been ruined and this guy has got to pay. Is he going to end up with back child support?
Retroactive.
Damn! Your life is screwed, or your friend's life is screwed. Tell him to get on this right away, man. He needs to lawyer up. And lawyer up kind of sounds like a bad idea. It's your right, man. When you see people that do the world's worst thing, and divorce is certainly not one of those, and lawyers get hated for giving a vigorous defense, it's the law. They have to. It's their job. They're an officer of the court, and they are sworn to do their duty. But I am telling you right now, this person is going to come after you, and you're going to get retroactive child support. So not only are you going to pay $800 a month or whatever it is, but up for those 3 years, you're going to owe somebody $6,000 to start with. Get all over this. And that's from Danny Bonaducci, life coach, and his special boy wonder, Rick Jones from Goldberg Jones, 1-800-DIVORCE.
Up next on Danny Bonaducci, life coach, is Amanda in Auburn.
Amanda in Auburn, what can I do for you?
So I'm 22. My sister is 19, and she's about to have a baby. She's pregnant. In November, we signed a lease together for an apartment, so a 2-bedroom apartment. And a couple months ago, she decided that she was going to move out and just stop paying rent. So she's now living with the baby's dad, hasn't helped with bills, paid the rent, anything. It all kind of ended with bad words and name-calling. And I'm just wondering at this point if I should hold my ground and kind of stay away from the whole situation, or if I should try to apologize because she's my sister and she is having a baby and I want to be there. So I'm just not really sure at this point what to do.
Did you do anything to apologize for? For which to apologize?
I don't believe so. I feel like...
I hear hesitation right there. Here's the deal. First of all, I would like to call you names, but you're my listener and you pay my rent, and I love you, so I won't call you names. But if you didn't know enough about your own sister that this was not going to work out in a small apartment with a screaming baby that has never been brought into the forefront before, that you didn't know this was going to end up in disaster, you brought this upon yourself. What I like about you is that you're not even sure you have anything for which to apologize, but you're willing to because she is your sister, and just right there and then, that's good enough for me. Bite the bullet. Go apologize. Don't roll your eyes even if you don't believe it. Absolutely. Go to your sister who is pregnant, the toughest time of a girl's life. She's young. What is she, 19, did you say?
Yeah, she's 19.
Run. Don't walk to the nearest apology. Now, don't let her abuse you, but run. Don't walk to the nearest apology. See what you can do for your sister, and if she's amenable to it, hold her hand. Do what you can, but really, the fact that you hesitated in whether or not I should apologize, well, I don't know if I should apologize. Then, yeah, you should. It costs you nothing to apologize to a 19-year-old pregnant girl. You're a decent girl. You should go do that.
I will.
Good. I'm very proud of you. I really am. Excellent work.
All right, our next
Education. That's the way you want to go. That's the Bonaducci Life Coach right there. My phone number is 1-800-252-1025. We have Rick Jones in studio with us from Goldberg Jones. He has a special... Why is it divorce for men? I never asked you that.
Why is it specific?
Yeah.
It's the marketing niche. It's specifically what we do. The fact that that our client base is approximately 85 to 90% male means we're dealing with similar issues on the visitation side of things, on the child support side of things. And I think most everybody would agree that men often get the short end of the stick when it comes to custody
I would agree
issues.
with that completely, man. And can I use you as my life coach for a moment?
You bet.
Okay, so my wife and I, when we got a divorce, had joint custody. I got them every weekend and every other Wednesday. Pretty good deal, right? And then I got a job across country. And she has friends that are divorced and share custody. And I just thought, she'd gotten a lot of money. I didn't put up a fuss because I was a bad husband. I will admit that. But I just immediately assumed I'd get summers and a certain holiday. And we wouldn't go back and spend more money that we don't have. That is not the way that's working out. If she doesn't come around soon, and let's just make this a faceless person, so you don't have to say, my wife against your wife. Just if that were the case, that you didn't, you had, when you lived down the street, you had joint custody, and then you got a job across country, that the ex-wife said, no, you have to take it. You have to feed the family, but then doesn't send the kid for summers or any elongated period of time. Do I have right, or does someone have rights to go to court and have that custody changed?
Sure, you always have rights to go to court, and that now the analysis becomes: does the court believe it's that it not only is it fair between the two of you, but most importantly, is it in the best interest of the children? And given your situation, it sounds like it certainly should be.
Yeah, and you don't even know some of the nasty stuff going on with her and her sleazy boyfriend. Okay, real quick, Mike Jones, would you see if that is another call for the lovely and talented Rick Jones? We're not.
I will. Yeah. That's what I do.
Well, then will you do that approximately now? That's very cool. Because it's coming up in just 1 second. We have Sarah's Filthy Forecast, do we not? I just wanted to get one more call for Rick since he came all the way down here. By the way, if you have a question for Rick Jones, you can call his office at 1-800-DIVORCE. It's Goldberg Jones, Divorce for Men. That's 1-800-DIVORCE.